Hello and welcome back to the EF5 podcast, the crossroads between logistics and life. And today, we're going to talk about something totally different than what we've talked about in every episode so far. Something that is untraveled by us, something that we have yet to even think about covering, something that we have never even hinted at, something that we are just totally new to. Well, you are totally new to, kind of, sort of. I took one class, so I'm like kind of an expert.
Every morning I see the moon.
You do see the moon. We're talking about space today, all right? So, you know, there was like a couple things you brought up to me prior to sitting down about space or whatever. What were some of those, not questions, but one of them was what about like the SpaceX launch or something like that happened recently?
Oh, yeah, the rocket that blew up landed.
Yeah. And
then I wanted to know, would you take the plane to space?
Well, first we'll start with the rocket. So that the rocket is actually really interesting. So it went well, actually. It went really well until
it landed.
And then it went really wrong.
But like I told you, we got options when we land. We can abort.
Yeah, you could jump out.
So as long as we can make it up and back relatively close, we can make it.
Well, think about it. There was a guy that, remember, he did that the base jump from space. Remember that? Like, he took a plane up to, like, a certain, whatever sphere part of the layer ozone thing. He was up there and jumped out, and then he parachuted down. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, that's too far up for me to even be curious about.
He was in, like, a suit and everything and just went, and he was gone, just like that, back into the earth. It was crazy. It was wild, even.
It's kind of interesting.
Insane, if you might say
so.
Yeah, but it was really sick, actually. Like it.
I thought they called that the Apollo 13 or something.
But that rocket landing obviously went bad. But there's like, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but there's so much stuff that has to go right for that to even happen, right?
Shoot, I can imagine.
Like there's a reason why the people that work there get paid a lot of money, right? It's because they have to come up with every small little trajectory point. Every small little math thing.
Do we still say Houston, we have a problem?
If they're in Houston, yeah.
So if they're in Florida, then I guess it's
Cape Canaveral, we got a problem. Well, I'm trying to think. I don't even know if it's shot out of Houston anymore. I think they shoot it out of the desert.
Elon's got something going on in Houston.
But I don't think it's in Houston. Is it in Houston?
I think it is.
Thought it was more towards like the desert part.
It might be Arizona or something.
Something like that. I mean, either way, it's in that area. But the rocket thing is really.
What's that unknown place out there?
Area 51?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he ain't allowed over there.
Look, Elon's allowed anywhere.
Elon buys his way in. just like he buys the price of his stock price.
He uses Bitcoin to get his way in.
Yeah.
Him and that NFL player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish I knew what his name was. It's still wild. For the people that watched and that don't know, there was one NFL player this season who requested his salary be paid in Bitcoin. And I don't see how that just makes sense. Like, is it at the time of the contract signing? Is it at the time of the payout of the actual salary?
I don't know. We'll have to check that out and maybe do an episode on that.
That'd be interesting. Cool. That'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, the rocket thing, it's not unheard of for it to blow up on impact like that. I mean, it's only coming at probably a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 miles an hour hitting the floor. Not 1,000, a couple hundred miles an hour hitting the floor.
It's crazy. Now they're able to like GPS land that thing.
Yeah, perfectly spot. Too. Yeah. Perfectly, right? And what's crazy too is not only like land it by GPS, but if you look at some of their other ones, like I forget the mission name, but when they sent the two astronauts into space to the space station,
right?
When they landed, the engines or the boosters or whatever it's called, the terminology, they know exactly where it's going to land in the ocean. They put a little like floating dock there, and then they catch it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's so wild that they're able to pinpoint in the ocean of all places.
It almost
right?
landed like it was taking off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly, especially like I said, in the ocean of all places. So it's not like the U.S. where you could just point like, okay, this coordinate in Georgia, right, next to some trees.
Not like a helicopter pad and it's got the H.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's literally just coming down, and you're just got to know where it's going to come down. Like there is no other options for that. So that stuff's always been wild to me that they've been able to pinpoint the location and have it be right. And the only thing that go wrong with it landing is the actual landing, not the location of it, right?
You don't think the UFOs and the other people up there are going to be mad at us?
Do you think there's UFOs? Do you think there's other people up there? Do you think there is extraterrestrial people?
Area 51 tells us it is.
But do you think that? Do you think it? Honest question. There is no right or wrong answer.
I don't know.
Because I'll tell you mine. You want me to tell you mine first?
Yeah, maybe it will influence my decision.
I don't think there is.
You don't think so?
No, but here's why. I think it's egotistical to think that. Because here's why. I know it sounds crazy, vast thing, whatever. There's so much potential, right? It's so big we can't even comprehend it, all that stuff, whatever. But it's egotistical because all we know is what we know. We don't know what anything else knows.
So you're saying since we know what we know, there isn't anything there?
I'm saying since we know what we know, we are too worried about what we know to think that there might be something else. And we are too caught up in what we know to believe that there could be something else.
This is what I think.
All right, what do you think?
I think there's something out there.
Okay.
And they see how jacked up we are here in this world. And they're like, I'm gone. Yeah. They're running from us as we're chasing them.
Well, you know what's crazy is that the Earth is not unique in that regard. I know it sounds really weird, but like rocky planet that has a livable source of or source of these livable components of life, right. Oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, stuff like that. We're not unique in that regard. The thing that separates the Earth from other planets and stuff like that is a lot of variables, which is the location of it to its star, right? Technically Mars is livable if you put like the layer of like actual atmosphere on it and stuff for it to be.
Well, the way we're locked up with COVID, we're livable anywhere now.
Yeah, it seems like it. We ain't leaving anywhere. But like Mars is technically livable, but it's.
Could we get Amazon on Mars?
You probably could.
Is that what Bezos is trying
Honestly,
to do?
You probably
He's
could.
cornering the market.
It wouldn't surprise me.
With Blue Horizon or Origin or whatever his company is. No.
Oh.
No, that's Sky Blue or something.
JetBlue.
No, he has something similar to SpaceX called Blue. I think it's Blue Horizon. Origin. Blue Origin.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, something like that.
That's what he's doing. He's trying to get Amazon to deliver next day in Mars.
He might. Never say never. But it is technically livable. The only problem is the temperatures vary so much. Like at night it gets to like negative 120, and I don't know if you've ever been in sub-negative temperatures, but I don't think that's really ideal.
It'd be a cold morning workout at 75 hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, imagine seasons on it now. Imagine the winter. That'd be not ideal.
Yeah, I thought the South was bad.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, the uniqueness of the Earth is not there, right? It's a very common thing to see, but it's all the other variables of the location of it next to the sun, how old the planet is, because generally, like at a.
But if we only know what we know, how do we know how old it is?
What do you mean? I mean, you can judge. Well, I don't want to say that. Exoplanets are already hard to spot as is because you can only find them. I call them exoplanets. Exoplanets are planets that are outside of our solar system. That's all it is. So you can just refer to them as planets. The only way that we're able to spot planets because of the distance is to see them cross the star. So once they cross the star, we can see the.
Is that where we see the UFO?
It could be. Could be. If we were to see UFOs from that distance, it would be that. But I'd imagine there's no UFOs.
I can barely see my phone in the morning.
Yeah,
my eyes are getting so
bad. Exactly. But like I said, the uniqueness isn't there. Just all the variables make it a lot more difficult. And then
so since you say all the variables are there, then why wouldn't there be something there?
Because there's so many things that have to go right, and that's not including time. So if you look at it from from a time point of view, the Earth has not been around long at all. It's been, I think, 200 million years, I think. That's a long time, right?
That's for dispute.
Something like that. Somewhere around that number. But
depends on who you believe created it.
True. But outside of that, I mean, generally it's around that time, right? So we suppose, or so we think, whatever. And that's very small at a, I'm trying to think, what's the word I'm looking for? Galactic level, or space level. That's
Gotcha.
a very, very minor amount of time. Stars will last billions and billions of years. So if a star lasts a billion of years and your planet's only 100 million years old, then I mean that's a freaking dot on the line that goes for. I mean that's like a centimeter to a yardstick, right? I mean it's very, very minimal. So we haven't been around long, or the Earth hasn't been around long, and that's not to say
I'm young. I hadn't been around.
Yeah, and that's not to say that we're gonna last long either, though, because if you think about it, like some dinosaurs lasted however 10 million years, or whatever, and then they got wiped out, and then there was a extinction, and then some stuff started to come back. They got wiped out. I mean, who's to say we're not next? I mean, think about it. We've only been around generally 2,000-ish years, somewhere around in that, right? And if you're taking away some of the like evolution stuff and looking at it from a spiritual level, if you take away spiritual, look at evolution. I mean, the numbers vary per thing, right? Whatever.
Yeah, but my point we could all still acknowledge that there was stuff around.
Yeah, my point is that like intellectual life such as us is a very, very. I mean, we are literally so minor on the time frame or on the time scale of anything that's galactic.
Yeah, but you put all that together, don't you think that all that exists somewhere else?
At the current moment? You know how many things would have to go right for it to exist at the current moment? Not say that it hasn't happened before.
In general, everything you just shared, why can't that exist somewhere else?
Well, why do you think it exists somewhere else?
Because it exists in our view of what we have seen and can agree all the minor details in the middle there was here.
But what's the common denominator of all that, though? Are we, us. That's all we know. How are we supposed to believe anything outside of what we know?
That's deep.
But that's my scientific answer. My gut tells me there's more there, though. So I just told you all that for fun. I think there's more out there, but
look, I think Area 51 should be opened up so we can really know.
Have you heard that? I forget. I think it was Teddy Roosevelt. Apparently, he shook hands with an alien.
Really?
I think so.
Well, they got clone doubles of Hillary at Camp David. Last I heard.
Well, the doubles are a thing though for presidents, actually.
Not clone doubles.
Well, okay, not clone, but there is a
I
thing.
Get you. Saddam had a handful of them.
Did he?
Yeah, because he's worried about getting killed every time.
Well, he probably needed a few more.
Yeah,
it didn't work out too well.
Well, it might have lasted a few years longer than what he normally would have got.
Yeah.
No,
I guess I kind of.
It seems like there are odd things that happen, and you're like, where'd that come from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree on that.
Okay, so what's your over and under before space travel happens?
You mean like actual like planet to planet, like planet to planet kind of thing, or like solar or out of the solar system to somewhere else?
Physically leaving, like beyond the studies of people that have left, like the NASA guys and things like that. So
to Mars.
Yeah, like me and you roll on out, and we got our round trip ticket. Even if we don't actually physically go somewhere, like land in Mars or something like that, but just the ability to
go out and then come back.
Yeah.
Right. So not just from the space station, which is in
I'm
orbit.
not talking about like what maybe Richard Branson's talking about, where we kind of skim the Earth and look down. I'm talking about like we are out and we come back in.
Right. Not like a space station thing, but like out of the orbit into something else and coming back.
Disney's going to create a theme park somewhere. We could travel there.
Don't they have one like that?
In space?
Oh, in space?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they definitely don't got one in space.
Like Disney, I wonder if Corona exists in space.
Well, the space station hasn't had any outbreaks yet, so I'd imagine no.
No, but like if you're out just gravitating around, hanging out, playing a little cornhole or something out there, floating around with your tube hanging on so you don't float away.
I think there's probably a lot bigger problems in space than Corona, such as radiation from the sun. That might suck.
Yeah, good point.
But the over-under, what's the year, 2021?
Yes. Oh,
shoot. Was it 337 or something like that? Oh, man, I called it.
327. Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
So
I would say
2021. What do you think? Now, remember, there's still people that have a home phone on their wall.
That's true. It's true. So we landed on the moon in the 60s, right? I saw that coming. The 60s, right?
That's
was when the footage came out.
That's what they say.
I'm gonna say by the time I die, of old age, hopefully.
Look, so put a year number on it, so we can timestamp this bad boy and bring it back up.
2080.
2080. Good Lord, Elon's going to be fighting that for a long time.
I'm giving it like a good number, good.
They're talking about at the end of this year.
Listen, we don't even know, like we have so.
You think?
I don't know if you know.
They're talking about at the end of this year, we're going to have Kardashian. I don't know. Let's throw out some people here. Who's going to buy the plane ticket to take the first ride?
Charlie Sheen, maybe.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that name in a while.
Think about who's going to financially buy the ticket to go.
Listen, you say all this, right? We have like budget cuts on the Mars rover where I don't know if you know this, but there's like multiple instruments on it, right? Different what's the word? Like it reads the soil and stuff like that.
Right.
Like different instruments like that, reads air pressure. Your instrument will get cut off and it won't be funded anymore. And that instrument is now null and void on that rover. And it will not be used. So if we can't even like keep instruments on the rover going.
Yeah, but that's the government. That's a whole different thing. We're talking about
privatized space travel.
Yes. I wonder what the insurance would be on that too.
Dude, they probably like, listen, don't even buy it because if anything goes wrong, you ain't coming back. Let's be honest. I wonder if you lose your life insurance for that.
I wonder if you can bet on that in Vegas.
Space travel, whether or not it blows up or not.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, we bet on everything nowadays.
That is true.
The coin flip. If you're betting on the coin flip, then you can bet on does it take off? Does it land in its spot?
Yeah.
Really, you think 2080?
I think 2080 when we land on Mars. Like human feet on Mars. But if we leaving our orbit and coming back, I'm gonna go with 2060 or 2050. 2050. My gut keeps telling me 2050, so I'm gonna say 2050.
My answer is it ain't never happened.
You don't think we'll ever leave?
No.
It's not a bad answer though. Honest to God, it's really not.
Well,
because there's so much.
I struggle with without getting like a conspiracy rabbit trail here is think about it. Whenever it was mid-60 range when we got to the moon, is our technology not better?
It's just expensive to get up there. It's expensive to stay there.
You know how much money we've spent since 1960?
But we also got a lot of what's up there. I mean, it's not like we can't see what's up there from down here. The only difference is the in-person aspect, which
and that's where I struggle to 100% believe you can penetrate and come back.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, the moon isn't outside of the Earth's orbit. That's the difference.
Look, I have zero knowledge in what's outside the orbit and all that. I move freight every day. But I'm just telling you, we're making this podcast. Some guy can bootleg it in China right now, in North Korea, and see it. But yet, we can't take it in a sense. I know it's much more detailed, so don't beat me up. An airplane ride and come back.
What? Okay, so let's say we can't, right? I'll just play to that. Let's say we can't. Or here, do this. Play to me. Let's say we can. What benefit do we get from going back?
Why are we trying to go now?
Because we already got what we needed. We went up there. We got the soil. We got the rocks. We saw everything that we needed, and then everything else we know, or everything else that we need to know, we can figure out from down here.
And that's a fair statement.
There's really no other reason.
And
to go
I really
back.
don't have an answer on why won't we go back, but then why are we trying to go now?
Right. Well, I think it's because technology's peaked. Honestly, I think there's still a lot to
look. If you go back and look at that little Apollo capsule that they kicked around the world, like that was I gotta be careful here. if that truly happened the way it was projected out, that was like an incredible feat to make happen in that time and era.
Right.
Heck, that was back when we had to get up and turn the TV channel and then bend the rabbit ears over here so we could kind of get a reception.
Well, you know just as well as I do that.
And then we're sending people out of the outer space.
Well, you know just as well as I do that public knowledge of technology is way less than what the government has at their disposal.
Look, we found that out when we got Saddam or Osama with that little airplane that crashed, that helicopter.
Yep, that supposedly you couldn't hear
Area
landing.
51, that's where it came
from. But seriously, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if we could do it back then, we could absolutely do it now. But what's the point? Like, we don't have there's no reason to drop another couple billion just to go find out the same thing we already knew, right? But what was I gonna say?
I just feel like with all the technology growth, and if we had like when you do one thing for the first time, then so many people pile on because they want to also do it.
Mm-hmm. But you know, this is what I was gonna say. I remember. So you know how radio waves are, right? Like you get a tower, and it shoots out a wave, and your car antenna picks it up, right?
Okay.
With 50 layers of crap in between. That's kind of the basis of what it is, right?
Okay.
So scientists can see radio waves, and when they shoot them out from these giant satellites.
I felt that radio wave.
Yeah. These giant satellites, right? And they shoot them out into space, and they can feel when things are brought back, just like your antenna. Your antenna can feel when
It's like when we do a great job at Elite, we can feel our customers come back.
the waves of their energy, of their smiles. But they can see. Dude, I am terrible with this right now. It is not giving me a lot of love. But we have these like receptors that will feel it, right? These satellites, I guess is what they would be called. And what we do is we shoot radio waves into space, and we'll shoot them not like from here to Mars, right? We can do that, but I'm talking we'll shoot them hundreds and thousands of light years away, just a lot at once. And the hope is that when we shoot them, we shoot it at something that's within that direction. And
I lost you.
Yeah.
You're wearing it out, man.
This is ridiculous.
Just unplug it. Plug it back in. Shoot some radio waves at me.
Hello?
Uh-oh. You're out.
Am I out?
You're dropped.
Oh, we dropped. All right. Well, we're going to finish it off anyways. I didn't have much else to say, but, I was just saying that, like,
find a way, baby.
Yeah, we just trying to find a way to get this thing wrapped up. We rambling too much. But, yeah, that's our podcast about space today. Anything else you want to add to the space time and continuum?
I'm out.
All right, I guess I'm out. I was forced out. Government didn't want me to continue on, I guess, or something. I was spilling all the secrets. I don't know.
They're here.
Oh, God. All right, time to log it up. We out.